I continue to thank you people for your continued engagement and support of what is happening in their country today. Let me start today by most sincerely express my heartfelt gratitude to all those who supported us in 2023 election, especially the youths and first-time voters who sacrificed everything, despite all the obstacles, distractions, and everything, to support what we're doing, believing in the possibility of a new Nigeria. Today is the beginning of our financial accountability, especially the crowdfunding managed by a team led by Aisha Yesufu. And she's the one that will follow up after her presentation.
It's an honor being here, standing here, and representing the fundraising team. We had a campaign crowdfunding where Nigerians were asked to donate to the campaign of Obi Baba Ahmed campaign for the 2023 election. Today we are having that campaign fundraising report presentation. Accountability and transparency is very critical and it's very important. And at any time that we ask people to donate and they do so willingly, it's very important for us to come back to them and show them how their monies were judiciously used. The mandate of the crowdfunding fundraising team was as follows. His Excellency Peter Obi gave the following mandates to the team, and that was to raise funding from Nigerians using the campaign's official accounts and ensure funds are judiciously used to support the presidential campaign of His Excellency Mr. Peter Obi. For this particular presentation that we are doing today, we are specifically concerned about the Obi Baba Ahmed campaign, for which there were four accounts that were used. These accounts are were accounts in Zenith Bank, Heritage Bank, Globus Bank, and also Sterling Bank. They were made public by His Excellency Mr. Peter Obi, and citizens were asked to donate as generously as they wanted to. At this juncture, we must say we thank everyone that donated in cash and kind. It's not been easy, especially with the kind of mindset we have in this country where we don't think as citizens we are supposed to donate. But indeed, citizens came out and they put their monies where their votes are, and they were ready to use their money and not wait for, as usually we see in our climb, for the candidate to be the one bringing in that money. And for that we say thank you, thank you, thank you. We go on to the activity and resource report. For donations from citizens, we received 595 million naira, 976,994 naira. This is the amount that were raised in these four bank accounts that we talked about. I know there have been reports out there that there were billions of naira that were raised. Some even said hundreds of millions of dollars. Well, we hope we'll see those monies, and if there are people out there that can help us track those monies, we would want to see them. But what we received specifically was this particular amount, let me repeat it once again, 595 million naira, 976,000 naira, 994 naira. We also received 800 million naira from the candidate himself. And I know some might wonder, how did we know that these monies were from the candidate? How were we able to differentiate them? These were monies that were put in by the candidate that were supposed to be used to pay for the polling agents. So we knew that they came in four tranches of 200 million naira each, and that was what gave the total of 800 million naira from the candidate. We designed a strategic blueprint focused on channeling the movement's energy to support His Excellency Peter Obi and Baba Ahmed's election in collaboration with different support groups. Remember, we had a lot of support groups and we worked together with them. We provided direct and indirect support to over 100 support groups across all 36 states in Nigeria. Also mobilized and supported over 100,000 grassroots organizers across the 36 states in Nigeria. We also deployed media-related campaigns that reached over 11 million people, leveraging over 40 radio stations, community outreaches, and social media. We would have loved to have used television and all of that, but because of our financial constraint, and we're very mindful of being judicious in our usage of the funds that we receive and being able to reach more people. So we limited what we had to just radio. So out of all of this thing, campaign materials worth 268 million naira, 374,330 naira were procured and distributed across the 36 states and also Abuja. Media and radio broadcasting cost was about 16 million naira, 422,867 naira. Election promotion expenses, we had 10,808,948 naira that we use for election promotion expenses. For polling unit agents, we spent 324 million naira, 381,700. And then we had bank charges, of course. The banks didn't warehouse the monies for us for free, and we had to pay 1,750,544 naira for bank charges. We also had administrative charges, which were 477,000 naira. We deployed 744,500,000 to cover legal expenses. And then campaign and election activities, we had another 28,500,000 naira. Let me just piggyback on the issue of legal fees. Remember what I said earlier. We had 800,000 that was brought in by the candidate himself. We did, 800 million. Thank you so much for that correction. We had 800 million that was given by the candidate himself. And so we are supposed to use that to pay. He had about 1.something billion earmarked to pay for the polling unit agents. So earmarked to pay for the polling unit agents. And then when we got to that towards the election, there were some materials, of course, that we couldn't produce. A good number of the materials were produced by most of the producers here. We have the team lead. He will take on that. We'll come to him very shortly. But I just need to give this background explanation. And so some monies came in when it's like a week to election. They have 2 weeks to election, so we couldn't produce any of those campaign materials. And we made the decision that we're going to put some of that monies from the public, put it towards payment of polling unit agents. This is still part of the election expenses, and this is what our citizens had donated towards. So when we did all of that, we found out that the agents that we had, the amount that we had to pay for them, we had such leftover. And so the candidate himself now asked on the way that these monies were paid for legal fee. So that's why you see the legal fee being high up there. So at this moment, I'm going to call on the team lead in terms of our procurement on how the steps that we took to ensure that every penny was judiciously used in a way that we're able to get the most material that we can. So at this moment, I call on Mr. Century. Go ahead.
Thank you very much. Thank you for entrusting to us. But what I want to basically buttress is the philosophy that guided how we manage these resources. Because it was important that the resources that were given to us, we managed them judiciously and ensured that they delivered on the real reason why Nigerians gave us those resources. So the first thing we did was that we adopted a merit-based procurement process designed to ensure that we get value for money. So we put out a call for vendors within the movement, people who have invested a lot, use their resources to support the campaign without being paid was a major criteria. People who have put so much into the campaign and they were professionals in what they do. We asked them to send their bids, and we had a committee of people who observed several bids, and then we had a framework that we adopted to arrive at the vendors that we used in delivering some of these materials across different areas of the campaign. Then the next thing we did was that we adopted a skeptical approach to fund requests designed to ensure funds are used judiciously. So beyond just people giving us their quotes and requests for funds and everything, we asked questions, we were critical, figured out their business structure, how they were running, their capacity. We wanted to ensure that we leveraged resources wisely, and I'm proud to say that, and the team is proud to say that, of the different vendors that we engaged on across different tasks, delivered exceedingly well. They delivered based off of the resources that were given to them. Then we also adopted a framework to ensure disbursed funds were used judiciously. Very important. We want to ensure that when we give resources to vendors, people who worked on the project, that they use these funds judiciously. We adopted that process. Then fund disbursements were made with approval from His Excellency and two other signatories to provide constant oversight. So whatever decision we took in terms of disbursing funds were made with the full acknowledgement of His Excellency and also signatories to the account. So no funds left the account without the approval of His Excellency, so as to provide constant oversight. Now, conflict of interest rules were established to ensure decisions on fund disbursement are made based on value and merit. It was very important to ensure that there were no conflict of interest. So you would find a situation whereby members of the procurement team, key decision makers, had no role in terms of, there were no conflict of interest. What do I mean by conflict of interest? It was a policy that monies would not flow into private accounts, it was to flow into business accounts. And no member of the official team in any way had any access to whatever funds they were disbursed. It was very important to ensure there were no conflict of interest. So we made decisions based off of the merit as opposed to any conflict of interest. So that was a core philosophy powered by the virtues and values that His Excellency stands for. That the values he stood for influenced how we disbursed our assignment. Thank you very much.
Process, which I'm sure I'll follow up in due course in other areas, because we've come to the end of this exercise. It is now time to account to those who supported us, be able to brief them. We're also going to commence our thank you tour to express our gratitude and continue in doing the right thing for Nigeria, because you can't just say it's only when you're in office that you're going to do the right things. It is something that you have to do continuously.
This is for Nigeria. My concern is the diaspora contribution. There will be another period where the monies realized, from Nigerians in the diaspora would also, because they would also want to know if monies came in, how was it utilized judiciously, and to know where further support will come upon. And I believe that that's the next step, because that will be the next conversation that will start happening, because people will start talking. So would like to know monies that came in from diaspora and how it was expended. Very, very great work you've done.
To me, okay. Let me.
Yeah, if you want me to.
Okay, let me start. First is that, like Aisha did mention, there's been all sorts of comments and allegations. In fact, one of the people who mentioned said we received about $150 million. Let me categorically state it, that all the funds received directly or indirectly from diaspora is not up to one. It's about not up to 1% of what is mentioned. And this, some of it are part of what have been exchanged and given to Aisha. We're actually going to go to the various people who supported us in diaspora to say thank you and tell them what was realized. And we've also are going to put an information out there that whoever knows where funds are supposed to have been remitted to help us trace and get that. But know that people are claiming we received about $150 million. And I state here, we haven't seen 1%. And I stand for anybody to dispute or prove that.
Okay,
The next question,
follow
please.
Yeah.
in the right direction. But you see, as you are doing this for your campaign organization, what becomes of the party? There are so many allegations. And somehow you have not spoken. Abure, the chairman, has been accused of stealing money. Even Aisha herself was accused. So, what is your comment to that?
What we're doing today is distinct and completely separate from the party and the party fund. We're just dealing strictly with Obidati campaign fund. And I've told everybody that whatever we received, directly, indirectly, will be accounted for transparently. For the party, I'm a member of the party. And they have chosen to say I'm the leader. What we need to do in the party, and I discuss it with the leadership, is that we must now appoint a reputable audit firm to audit and be able to deal with the accounting of the party. When I'm involved with anywhere money is, it must be transparently nice. So there's the allegation and counter allegation now that must be thoroughly investigated and verified. And we reconcile it and know exactly what we're doing. That is for the party. What we're doing here is accounting for the campaign. And I'm using the opportunity also to appeal to various support groups or individuals and parties that receive one form of funding to support what we're doing, which we're very grateful to account to those they receive it from. Because there's some people who supported some support groups, there's some people who, even abroad, who collected money and said they're going to use it to work in the north and everything. We are not stringent that everything you collect must come to us. But we want whatever is collected to be accounted for. And that's why we're appealing to the public. If you think this happening and everything, let us know.
Thank you, sir.
No, before you go, sir.
Okay.
Thank you so much. Because I just saw part of the question was also directed at me on the issue of allegation of monies being misappropriated. So the first thing is that every donation that we collected under the Baba Ahmed campaign were paid directly into the campaign account. And I can categorically state here, there is no Nigerian, living or dead, who gave Aisha Yesufu a single kobo. Not at all. Even His Excellency that we were doing anything for would not give us anything to collect. He had to pay into his account. So for us, we're very strict. I'm sure you heard what Mr. Century did talk about. We're very strict in terms of ensuring that everything, we're skeptical. We put ourselves on the line and ensure that every dime that was collected was paid into it. Just to give a little bit of an experience, there were some people who wanted to give money directly and I didn't collect. There were some who even reported me to His Excellency, Mr. Peter Obi, sitting right there. So there is no money, but if there's anyone that has any money somewhere, please, we really want to let them come forward. We love that.
Thank you. Okay.
Okay. I'm not going to talk about it because it involved you. So from what she said,
They were not going to
talk about it.
because it involves me.
Yes.
Okay.
So that's the true side of it.
Thank you very much. Let me start by what you said. Why do I have to wait till now? You're talking about the Labour Party issue. I want us to again understand we have two distinct positions. You're talking about Labour Party, am I right? Labour Party account. I don't think I wasted, am I right?
Yes.
Yeah, switch to Labour Party. I don't think I waited too long. The election was conducted when? February last year. Thereafter, went into litigation, which ended up when? In November. So, I couldn't have been going to court and be talking about Labour Party accounts. And after ending that, we're in December, which is when we started even recovering from all the activities of being in campaign from 2022, ending in end of 2023. And we're just in first quarter of 2024. I don't think this has happened before with any party in Nigeria counting this quick. Tell me one. You know, in Nigeria, we're used to blaming those who want to do the right thing and leaving those who have been doing the wrong thing over the years. We are now accounting immediately within the first quarter of 2024. I remember when the case ended last year, I said, in 2024, we'll spend it going around to talk and everything. And we just started the process. I could have been calling auditors last year. We're now going to call them and everything. And again, like I said, I'm not involved in the party accounting. I'm not part of the party management. If you know how party function, the party is being run by the elected executives of the party for National Working Committee to that, which I'm not signatory. Even the account campaign and anything, I'm not signatory to any. I'm not signatory to any group account. Everything is being managed. The ones people gave me, I paid it into one account or the other, which was properly managed. Because I know there will be a day like this. And I assure you, we will account for everything. That's why we are calling on every member of the public, local, international, and everything, who have a lead to where he thinks these billions and millions we are paid into or given to somebody cash. And I must say, thank you to Aisha, because what she said here is, you know, I've had people who have come to me and said, oh, we went to Aisha to give her this money. Say she doesn't want to take money. I will always say to them, well, listen, pay for this for us. Pay for. People actually supported us more in kind than in cash. Because we had people who paid for our logistics, transport, flights, this, that, paid. Which we're very grateful. And we're going to go to them to say thank you. But it's important. For the labor one, I've told you how we're going to solve it. We're not going to solve it by saying, she said, he said. We now have an independent person who will tell us which way forward.
Thank you very much.
The second part of it, sir. The second part of it,
Which is?
that you are involved in some meetings, not NW.
Oh, well, listen. Of course, this year, I've had meetings. I've been in a meeting where she said so, and I directed them, I appealed to them to go and resolve it. You know, I did. I told them, please go and resolve this, you know. But today, it's in public domain, and the public, we owe the public as a transparent listen. I don't stay around where issue of funds either mismanaged or embezzled is being discussed. I was governor for 8 years. And I said it when I left that office. I still say it every day I have opportunity. I left $150 million and something billion naira, which I was not under, there's nobody holding gun for me to do that. And that the same thing is what we're doing here. We have people who may be a group of this, they can tell you this group send in maybe $50,000. You know, so it's not the most important thing is for you to understand that the magnitude of the claim, I said it's not up to 1%. It's probably under $1 million, if at all.
And put together is what you channel it.
No, I said part of it. Because some actually came in kind again. But I would cut as donation. Some people brought some, they paid, we can say, oh, you're doing this. Why don't you pay for this for us? We're looking for somebody who has done maybe t-shirts for us and everything. People, we had more support in kind than in cash. You know, we had all sorts of various support. We are counting here in Aisha's on his crowdfunding. And he told you what they received, because it is in crowdfunding that people say we receive 200 billion. Yeah. You know, so we want to know the account where the monies are paid into, because people might have opened the account in our name unknown to us.
Yes.
So we're not giving you, so those who paid the billions can say, this money is in this account, bank, and we'll go there and locate it. Because it's not impossible, the way things are in this country. Somebody must have opened an account in our name or in this, and
Okay, perhaps just say one from my side, sir.
Yes.
There have been a lot of talks about opposition candidates forming a merger in order to, you know.
today is accounting time. You know, if you miss it,
We miss it to take off the sign of what we want.
No. Let me plead with you people.
Don't face this particular matter.
Let me tell you.
Always easy to get you.
Not as possible time, because it's important that we talk about the state of the nation. Today I want us to talk about this, and I want you to accompany us. I hope you accompany us where we're going to talk about issue of one of the most critical areas of development. You know, this week is from Sunday actually to today is like week of the sick, talking about health. So I want us to visit maybe a primary health care center and everything, and see how things are. And then I can make about comments about support, budget for funding, health sector, and then we'll take it from there.
Thank you.
Rest assured, you won't look for me.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
No, hey, what?